Hey guys, in this video tutorial I'm going to walk you through from start to finish on how to print and press a sublimation puzzle, particularly the ones that I sell. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so as you can see, I already have the image of what I want to print. So first thing we need to do is on square templates, such as the puzzles, which are approximately in size, and I'll show you. They are approximately, this particular piece I think is 120 piece, and it's about 11.5 long and approximately 8 inches wide, just a little shy of that. So what I would do is to create a template. If you're not, when it comes to small, regular normal shaped items, we don't always provide templates for that because they're pretty easy to create on your own. So I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. So we're going to go with File, and then we're going to say New. And as you can see, I already have my inches in here, and I am working in Photoshop. So I have my inches set to 11.5, and I think I'm going to actually go 8.5 is my height. So I'm going to do 11.5 wide and 7.85 inches tall. You want to set your resolution as high as possible. The general consensus for resolution when it comes to the sublimation world is 300 degrees, RGB color at 16-bit. Okay, so we're going to hit OK. All right, so now we have a background. What I'm going to do is come over here and double click on the background to unlock that layer. Now I'm going to take my paint bucket over here to the left where you have all these little icons, and I'm just going to click on paint bucket tool, which I already had selected, and I'm going to make it black. I just like my templates black. I don't know why, but I do. All right. So now we need to add a bleed to this. So what I do is go up here to Image, Canvas Size, and I'm going to make this a little bigger to work with. So we're going to say 12.5. We're going to make it an inch bigger, and we're going to say 8.85. All right. Now we have a little more space to work with. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this layer. And so now we have the top layer over here and we have the bottom layer. So the top layer I like to make white. And this is what we call my safe layer. You guys who get templates from me know this. I mean, this is, or you know how my templates look. Well, this is how I create them. So I'm going to name that safe layer. All right. The bottom is going to be my template. All right. Now on my safe layer, I like to be able to see what's going on behind it. So I'm going to change my opacity down to about 50. Okay. And it's a gray right now, but when we add more dimension to the template, we'll be able to see that. So let's go ahead and do that now. So the simplest way to add dimension, I just add a stroke. So if you go down here to your FX tool, and then you click on stroke, and I generally go for my bleed, I go about a 10. I go anywhere from a 10 to a 20, so I'm going to go with a 15. I think I'm going to try a 20. Oops, not a 120. And I'm going to hit OK. So now you can see the outside. And then generally what I do, instead of leaving it as a stroke, I just right click and I rasterize layer, and it just locks in those settings. So at this point you could save it. I'm just going to say, I'm going to say 20 piece. Let's see, go to computer D. I'm just going to say 120 piece puzzle template. Okay. All right, so now we have it saved. Now the next thing you would want to do is to turn off your top layer, and you would want to bring in your image over it. So I'm just going to do File and Place, and I'm going to go to where my images are saved for my little grandson there. Photo temp, and here he is. So I'm just going to bring him in. All right, so this is actually probably perfect size for this puzzle. So I'm just going to I'm going to now mask it to the template. So you just hold down your Alt key while clicking in between the image and the template, and that masks it. Now remember guys, this is a puzzle, so there's not a lot that needs to be done. We can add some text to it. So let's do I don't know what my font is, and I'm spelling his name wrong. All right, let's find a better font. I don't really care for that. Let's find something. It's a little too scripty for me. Just gonna look through some fonts real quick. And we're gonna bring it bigger. And I'm gonna go back up. There's a couple ways you can look at the fonts. You can do how I'm doing it here, or you can go to the character and just scroll down and go over here. Now if you don't have character up and showing in any of your areas, it could be here, it could be here, you just simply go to window and then you click on character to show it, and it should pop up for you. So for the sake of the video, I'm just going to find me something real quick, something to make this work. Let's try that. Oops. Oh, it was already that font. Okay. Nope. Don't like that one. I don't like that one. I don't like that one. Let's see. What do we got here? Nope. Nope. Do we have a kid? Nah, I don't like that one either. Alright, let's find. Okay, so I'm probably going to fast forward this part of the video while I find a font. All right, so that looks pretty good right there on how I want it. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and go print. So we're going to go File, Print. And for those of you that don't know, I do use an Epson Workforce 7110, and I have Cobra inks installed in it. So I've already got my printer set up. I just need to see what my paper settings are for this. And rear feeder, let's see if it'll fit like that. I'm assuming it's probably not going to fit. All right, so we got to get a big piece of paper, which is fine. And I'm going to go to my print settings. So on something that you needed bigger, you need to go to your print settings and you need to choose a different, your larger paper. In this case, I'm going with my Super B. Okay, I always keep borderless print. And for the default settings, presentation matte, You go to more options. I have high speed and mirror checked. I always like my mirror to be checked since this is for sublimation. And then advanced, you would want no color adjustment. So those are pretty much the default settings. All right. So I'm going to hit OK. Let it readjust its thing here. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is just drag it up so that it prints on that very top part so that I can cut the rest of the paper. And then I'm going to go ahead and go put my okay, so I went ahead and put my paper in, and the next thing I do is just check a few of my other settings, make sure my correct profile's chosen. I'm on perceptional printing, and I do not check the black point compensation, and then I'm just ready to go ahead and print. All right, so this is my 7110 printer. As you can see, the paper is loaded in the far back, and it's the large super e-paper, and my printer's starting to print. Now this is a pretty detailed photo.
Okay, so this is normal print speed right here, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to let you guys watch the whole thing print out, but I'm going to speed it up via my video software.
Okay, so this is the finished print, and like I said, at this point you can just take it and cut it. You can cut it, and then that way you can use that other piece of paper for another project. So here are the puzzles. I don't know what the video will be able to show you guys. This happens to be, there are two different types I was trying to describe to you guys, and I'm hoping you can see it right there. Do you see the glitter speckles? I'm hoping you guys can see that. So there are glitter speckles. That's what the pearlescent is called. I mean, that's what the pearlescent is made of, in case you guys were wondering. So those are the pearlescent, those sparkles. I'm going to press this on a glossy puzzle, and this is just a glossy. There's no sparkle in it at all. Okay. So per my instructions on my website, let's go back to that and so I can show you guys real quick. Okay, so we're on my website, and real quick, I'm just going to show you that most of the instructions will always be on my website. I'm on the ready to ship, which means RTS, which means ready to ship products. I'm going to go over here to the MDF products, and I'm going to click on this photo frame. And if you scroll down, it's going to always, most of the time I will have my videos up here, or they could be in tabs right over here. I'm trying to move them all to the description so you see them on the very first page. But this is where the video, the instruction video will be, along with the pressing instructions, okay? You can also search my site looking for what you need. Even if I'm sold out of it, it should still show up. All right. So let's go with, I'm going to click on the puzzle, and I'm going to scroll down, and I don't have a video yet, and that's the purpose of this video, but here are the pressing instructions. So you press these at 120 seconds for 350 degrees. The puzzle is face down with the transfer paper face up. All right, medium pressure. So my heat press is a little too hot at the moment, so we're going to go adjust those settings so we can make this. And I'll be right back. Okay, so we're over here back to the heat press, and this is what a heat press looks like. I will try to zoom out. This is a 16, woo! This is a 16 by 20 Endura press that I got from Sign Warehouse. I have a review on the whole entire press when I got it nearly 2 years ago, and it's still going strong. They're pretty much a knockoff to another name brand, which I'm not going to put on here, but I'm happy with it for the price I paid. It's doing me just fine. I like to call it the Green Monster. It has a drawer where it comes out. Let's see if I can show you guys that. Oops, I'm on a tripod here, but the drawer slides out really easily, and as you can see, it's still a swing away. Okay. Let's get this back. So we needed to go 356 for 120 seconds. So we're going to adjust our time. For 120 seconds. Now, if any instructions ever give you minutes, you have to break those down usually by seconds. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to wait for the heat press to cool down, and then we'll come over here and press it. Okay, so our temperature is right where we want it to be. I'm going to turn that over there. I've got my butcher paper here, and I'm going to make sure y'all can see this. All right. All right, so we're going to take the puzzle out of the wrapper. They do not have any protective coating or anything like that, just the wrapper. I do leave the cardboard. I leave it on the cardboard when I'm pressing. Whoops. Okay. So. Okay. Just make sure your puzzle pieces are all flattened. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to line him up here. So remember, puzzle face down, paper press up. And you can see my bleed area on here. So it's a pretty big bleed. I don't think I needed that big bleed, but some people like big bleeds. Big bleeds don't come in handy when you're doing, one thing I don't like about them is when you're doing photo collages. The bleed can get in the way and cut off sometimes people's faces and stuff. So that's why I tend to not like large bleeds. But for this one, it's okay. And so see the outside, that's what we call the bleed in sublimation. All right. Now, we are getting ready to press. Okay, so remember in the instructions when it said puzzle face up, paper face down, that is going to be just like that. Okay. So now we want to get it into your protective paper. The reason why you have to have butcher paper is to protect your top platen from getting any inks on it and your bottom platen. Okay. So now we're going to do medium pressure. And the pressure is on these is the knob in the back. So you turn it down to increase pressure and up to loosen the pressure. All right, so 120 seconds is how long we'll bake it for, and we'll be right back. All right, so we're winding down to the last 10 seconds. Okay, for any product that you press, you're gonna need to use your heat gloves. You can get these from any of the US vendors such as Johnson's Plastics, Condi, or Coastal, or RPL. I got these though my husband got these from Sports Academy, and they're found in the fishing department, which are pretty much, to me, the same as the ones you get from the vendors, and to me they're cheaper. So they do the job. I even handle slates with these. Don't get the thin ones, because I've tried them like this. They're thin, and your hand still can get burned, but these ones seem to do the job. So like I said, they're in the fishing department of a sporting goods store. So I'm gonna go and check this out. Now for this particular project, I don't really need my gloves. All right, let me flip it around so y'all can see. And wow. Just gonna take that tape off the back. Now it's okay if a little bit of the paper off the back tears off with the tape. I don't recommend using Pro Spray with these. But all right, so for lining up purposes for the video, I don't know if you can see, I came up a little bit short right up there. Not a big deal for me. Not a game changer, as I was just making this for the purpose of the video, but it's still pretty nice that I think I'll give this as a gift. And this is my grandson, and just look at the colors, how they stand out. I don't know if you can see. I mean, just absolutely beautiful. Okay, folks, so that is what it looks like for the sublimation puzzles. I hope you guys enjoyed the video.